when the police tased you for 6.5 straight minutes?
I did pee myself, yeah.
We all noticed that. We all noticed that. Yeah.
Didn't feel good. Actually, did feel kind of good. Welcome to The Advisory, the first and last advice show on the internet where we answer questions to learn a little bit more about what it means to be human. All advice is final and legally binding. This week, James, we got all kinds of fun treats. We got a spooky drive-through experience. We got some questions about Vegemite, very Australian. We're talking about neighborhood peepers, and we're talking about how to break up with a ferret. What's going on over here?
Classic ferret problems, it sounds like, on this episode. Someone's trying to break up with a
you
ferret.
there, bud?
That's probably the biggest, most important thing to talk about.
You don't want to talk about what all is occurring, just visually. Something's off. Is something different? Did you get a haircut?
You've got you finally nailed your background this week, and you're an even green screen color. Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's just you look. There's something different about. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but you look a little different.
Oh yeah, okay. Well,
did you change your lighting, or?
I was hoping we wouldn't bring this up, but I went to a Video Easy this week, and
Video Easy.
Yeah, they were closing down.
Shocking.
Yeah, the dual Video Easy and Sanity store.
Why were they had a dual one? Oh, I guess they did.
Yeah, it was also had a dine-in Pizza Hut as well.
Really? That's surprising, because Pizza Hut not doing so hot these days. Oh, maybe that they all shut at the same time?
I don't pry into their books. I don't really know what they've got going on there. But yeah, anyway, I picked out what I thought was a vintage tape of Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. Picked that one up because obviously when I was a kid and I was first getting into anime, the only tapes that they had were the first, second, and fourth tape. So you can take what you can get when you're younger and you're just sort of getting into something. And so they had the illustrious tapes 3 and 5, which I needed obviously to complete my collection.
Right.
Took it home. Turns out one of them was a cursed wrestling tape. Got a phone call 7 days later. Bing, bang, boom. Guy fucking flying elbows me in the back, and I turn into this. So
that's unfortunate.
It has its perks.
Did you get to use your membership card
at Video Easy?
At Video Easy? Yeah.
Their system was down, so they just sort of
right. The database.
They took my word for it. Yeah. They just sort of wrote my name on like a post-it note, stuck it behind the counter, and said, bring these back in 7 days.
But if they're not open in 7 days, you still obligate because they're shut now. Do you still have to bring them back to like the empty lot?
Well, yeah, I didn't buy them. They were weeklies. You
rented them?
Yeah.
Oh, I assume they were selling their stock. No, there's still
the after hours bin that I can put them in. I don't know who's going to get them because the lights have been off.
Yeah, for whoever's living in the building is presumably going to collect those.
I should just keep them then, you reckon?
Are they VCRs or DVDs?
They're VHS tapes.
I think what you should do is you should return them but not rewind them. Because they always tell you to do that, but they can't enforce it. They don't know who had it last.
Okay. Well, they do know who had it last. My name is on a post-it note behind the counter. They absolutely know who had it last, and obviously,
that's I live my I use your
okay, dude. I live my life by a couple of different rules. Okay, one, live my life a quarter mile at a time. Everyone knows that. I say it all the time, and I've got the T-shirt and the bumper sticker and the poster on my wall. Now, I also live by please be kind, rewind. Now, I haven't been able to use that one in a while.
Doesn't come up a lot.
But in this case, it has.
Since the 90s, yeah.
And trying to make it so I shouldn't be kind and not rewind?
I'm just saying, I think it'd
be
funny.
What are you made of the most hateful energy on the planet?
Yes. Hey, listen, that's not on me. That's just how I was born, okay? You can't be coming at me like that. I was made this way, okay? And you need to respect my truth, all right? I'm a hateful guy, okay? Some might even call me the hateful eightful. Okay, some might even call me the what else rhymes with hate? The hated and faded. That's what they might call me.
What a wonderful audio experience that was.
Yeah.
for everyone listening to that. And also,
Yeah.
like, Doug, okay, I don't know if I've ever told you the tale about why I do Be Kind and Rewind. I
You
was
never have.
11. I
James, really
rented.
quickly, before we get into personal anecdotes, can we play the disclaimer just in case
No,
we get
absolutely
into some
not.
hot water? Is that
Absolutely not. But
okay?
I
Fine.
want this. Pre. I want this legal disclaimer. Okay.
You're so confident. You're so confident in what you're about to say that you don't need the protection of our lawyers who are currently, and I shit you not, I'm looking at them. They are shuffling a lot of papers and talking to each other in sort of muted, excited, stressed voices. Whatever is happening right now is stressing them out. This is the longest we've gone without legal coverage. And you are so confident in your anecdote that you don't feel the need.
I stabbed a 32-year-old guy in the neck because he wasn't kind and he didn't rewind. And 11-year-old James rented out the VHS of Starship Troopers, and he didn't rewind it, and he left it on the scene right where Rico put the grenade into the big bug's back, and I didn't know that Rico was going to kill the big bug because I hadn't seen it before. So I fully
That's the worst
fucking
part. If
killed.
anything,
I killed him dead while Mum was waiting for the Domino's pizzas to be cooked next door to the Video Easy.
Yeah, well, it would have been a Pizza Hut, but sure. Domino's wasn't that big back then, I don't think.
Okay, I don't. Sorry, are you trying to gaslight my childhood memories? Yeah. There was a Video Easy right next door to a Domino's Pizza that was in Capalaba. Okay,
look,
how dare you? How dare you? I'll fucking Bowflex snap you in half under one of me tits. One of me big old juicy wrestler tits. Sorry,
first of all, please don't suplex me.
Yeah,
but
I had to. Sorry, like, I had to explain there for the audio listener that they aren't fully aware of my transformation. So I had to.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
I didn't want to sound prejudiced. So, because you do look different.
I'm gonna do the disclaimer now.
For the record, you missed out. I said a need, and then you could have said a need for speed, and you chose not to. That's all I'm saying. I set it up for you, and you ignored it.
Sorry. I just got done telling you that I live my life a quarter mile at the time, and now you're trying to hit me with competing car franchise quotes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna knife this cunt. I'm in
the pocket of EA. What can I tell you? They pay me a lot of money every month to
talk about. The following show
speed.
features goofs performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, Black Swan Society and the idiots in front of you must insist that no one attempt to actually follow any advice spewed into the world on this show.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to kill David.
Before you do, I thought, given the lineup of this episode and just sort of looking at what we all have on the table, I thought let's crack out some advice really quickly on the off chance that we don't do any advice this episode because we have so much good stuff to talk about.
Slice me up some advice. Slice advice. Let's do it.
That was it's a sound I make. I say that, and it's not, and it's cool. People are into it. This question comes from Open Inspector 9372.
Really quick, Open Inspector. I'm gonna need you to just take a seat for us real quick. David, the audio listener has no idea that you tried to just make a slice sound there. So if you could please just run it back one time for them. I'll preface really quick. Sorry, audio listener.
This is the knife. I've got the knife here.
David is about to make.
I'm gonna cut.
I said slice of advice. Now David is gonna make the best slicing knife sound you've ever heard in your life. In 3, 2, 1, prepare yourselves. Here it comes.
Ka-cha! This because it's the knife and it goes ka-cha when you cut it. That's the ka-cha. It's when you cut it. You're doing the vegetables and it goes ka-cha. It's ka-cha. That's the sort of sound it make.
Right. And just to clarify that you weren't doing Christopher Walken plays a knife.
That's the sound of the knife when it does the cutting. I'm not voicing the person. I am in that scenario. I'm voicing the knife that I'm holding.
No, I gathered that, and that's. Anyway, let's just get to the advice before maybe some people try some sound effects again. Yeah, not naming any names, but
or I get wrestled to death, which is also a likely outcome.
Wow. Okay, that's didn't realize you were going to body shame me this soon into the episode, but okay.
I don't know what the energy
Wow.
is today, but it's
Wow.
something.
Pretty upset about this whole curse situation as well. So thanks for being a friend and helping me through this. Thanks a lot.
You didn't tell me. Listen, in a normal workplace, you would have told me this before we started doing our piece of work that we do together. So I could have been sensitive, but you chose to spring this on me. And I appreciate you're going through something, but like, don't try and put this on me, bro. Like, you know, all types of things happen to all types of different people. Let's just do some advice and we can talk about it off air with HR. Which I mean, how's that going to go? You already have them in your pocket or whatever. Sorry, in your leotard, as it were.
Wow. Wow. Someone make a note of that. Someone make a note of what he just said there. I want that to be brought up in the meeting.
Yeah, it's not going to. Not going to be brought up. This question comes from Open Inspector 9372. I am quietly I'm a little proud of the leotard. I thought that was, anyway, I thought it was clever. This one comes from the tainted the internet reddit.com. James, my neighbor pretty much admitted to watching me. My neighbor and I got into a heated argument in regards to our property. Out of nowhere, she starts attacking my looks, calling me fat for someone who works out all the time, and commented on my body saying I have nothing, as in I have no curves. What's weird to me is that when I go out to my car to head to gym, I never see anyone out, which means she watches me all the time from her windows. Is there anything I can do?
Wow. Appropriate.
Your guy
sorry, just I think it's an appropriate question to bring up, seeing as I've recently been attacked for my appearance.
Yeah. Now, you did kind of do a Twitch. Your model, sorry, your face. I don't know. I'm not sure what the appropriate pronouns are. But I'm assuming that you took a drink from something, and your entire sort of head had a bit of a moment. Are you all right?
Wow, just sort of going to bring up all of my shortcomings on this episode, huh? Okay, I guess I should mentally prepare myself for that. I was
worried about you. It looked bad. It looked like it hurt.
Yeah. Well, it didn't feel like you brought that up in like an earnest, compassionate way. It felt like you really attacked me with that one. So
well, I naturally sound like an asshole. My natural register is like condescending cunt. Like, you need to know that by now.
That's true. That is true.
So,
that is true.
That's just how I sound.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump back into the question before I cry. I think that, man, there's so many great different ways to tackle this. My mind immediately goes to, you know, a potential distraction on my way out, you know, throw a firecracker in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
And then when she goes out to inspect, I run out through the front yard. Creating some type of well, not really a bodysuit, just sort of like wear a mirror.
What?
Sorry.
No, sorry, I heard you.
Take
what do you mean?
mirror and wear it.
Okay, why?
How's she gonna see me?
Oh, she's seeing herself.
Exactly. Or if I angle it down enough, it'll just look like nothing at all.
Yeah, but I think if it's a reflection of her, then it might be an opportunity for her to look at inside herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, really take a minute to think about what's all going on with her. That's really introspect.
What I like about that is maybe dressing exactly like her and maybe starting to mimic, you know, her body language, her mannerisms, those kinds of things. And
could you sell your car, buy the same car she has, buy her clothes, start to do your hair like hers? Could you buy the same handbag? Could you hire an actor that looks roughly the same as her teenage son? Could you buy a dog that's the same as hers? Could you get the same phone case she has? Could you get your driver's license redone in her name because you look so similar? Could you potentially go to the bank and request to withdraw some money, and because they recognize her, they give you that money? Could you take control of those accounts? Could you, just pitching, could you take over her life?
Oh, so close. So close.
Is that an option?
First of all, to answer those questions, yes, you can do all of those things. I thought you were going to say get access to her accounts and bankrupt her. Now she can't
Oh,
afford to live next door to me.
that's smart.
Problem solved.
I mean, this close.
Yeah. You sort of
I just wanted to.
yeah, you tend to get really hung up on interpersonal destruction. You really like to
I want to burn her world to the ground.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you get lost in the sauce on the answers sometimes, because it's like you come so close to giving, a solution that could be actionable, and then you hop right over it because you're like, because let's implode her life from the inside.
Because you could also probably get, because some of the recovery options for like social media and stuff now is like, it's like a photo reference thing. If you need to get it in like a really desperate scenario where it's like, you could probably get access to her accounts and then like probably start talking to her family and be like, oh yeah, come over for dinner. And then you could tie her up and then host dinner at her house so they don't suspect anything. And you could probably get away with this for like at least 2 years. Probably. You don't have to look at me like that. I'm just saying you've got this. I'm just, sometimes I float options and they're not that popular, but you just should know it's an option that you have. Vis-a-vis the scenario that you're in.
Wow. Obviously you could tell by the look on my face just there that that was sorry.
What happened?
I was just really quickly trying to remember if I played that disclaimer, because I saw my financial life flashing before my eyes. And us being sort of sued into the toilet.
I'm not gonna steal. Oh, you afraid of getting sued? Yeah, that's probably a normal reaction. I wasn't gonna say anything just then. So your finances are definitely safe. You wouldn't even notice how much I've been taking. Yeah. Oh, we did it. Yeah.
By the way, I just want to say really quickly that we all have noticed. We all just mutually agreed that it's probably best none of us say anything.
Yeah, that's the stuff I wanted you to notice. It's a diversion.
Okay.
Yeah,
a little fake out. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Pulling from.
It's a bit of a ruse de guerre on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Solved. Wear a mirror or take over her life. You got 2 really good options, I think. Or
distraction. Distraction was also.
Or distraction is your other option. Or like maybe write a really rude passive aggressive note or something and leave it in her mailbox. We all know that works famously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, or maybe just a really bare bones approach to this would be to
what's that?
Call her landline as you're leaving, so she has to go get the phone, and then you sprint out to the car and you drive away, and then you do the same thing when you come home. And
who do you say is calling, or you're just doing it so that she has to leave it? Like, right. That's actually like a pretty, but she'd have to still own a landline is the challenge there. That could be a barrier.
She sounds like a cunt, and I imagine that she just does have a landline. You know?
I don't want to be that guy, but I think that all pricks probably still have landlines. I'm not saying that everyone that owns a landline is a prick, but the Venn diagram's mostly a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're old. Didn't have anything clever there. I just think that's an important caveat because someone's going to write a fucking comment. James, I listen, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but I sent you an image today of, I just want to talk about Vegemite really quickly, if that's cool with you, and then we can talk about the thing you had, which is far more interesting. I've started to notice, and I don't know when this happened, for those who aren't Australian, Vegemite is a worse Marmite. That's not a contentious opinion. It's just true. And it's sort of a yeast-based...
What the fuck did you just say?
What?
Say that again. Say that again. I want everyone to listen to this very intently.
It's objectively inferior. It's like a less concentrated version of it. Like it's just like it. Like
no. Just say
it's less good.
Say again what you just said.
Marmite is obviously better than Vegemite. I don't think that's a contentious opinion.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry that I'm not afraid to speak the truth.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. If someone
PC
could
culture gone mad. You can't say anything these days.
at BLK Swan Society on Instagram and TikTok, wherever you're at, really, send me a DM. How, or first of all, and then if we can, how can we evict someone from the country who was born here and has every legal right to be here? Is that something
I'm
that
a
we can do?
citizen. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like if we get our request across the right desks and we tell them what you just said about Vegemite, I think we can get you turfed.
It's fine. I'm a dual citizen in the UK, so I got somewhere to go.
Okay, so in the DM, we need to figure out how to also get him ousted from the UK as well.
It's gonna be trickier because they're the ones that done the Marmite, isn't it? So
Marmite is New Zealand.
Marmite is from the UK.
Marmite? Isn't that
Marmite.
It's a New Zealand thing, is it not?
No. What are you thinking of?
No,
Marmite is from the UK. You're thinking of something similar. It's not. Marmite's the UK one, which is what Vegemite.
Marmite is a food spread produced in New Zealand by Sanitarium Health and Wellbeing Company and distributed in Australia and the Pacific.
Google Marmite UK. Because that's where Marmite comes. New Zealand, I didn't even know New Zealand did Marmite. Hang on, my mother's English. Give me a second. We're doing this. Oh, that's not the same at all. Fucking out of your fucking minds. Hang on. Calling Anne. We're doing an Anne. We're doing an intervention. Not coining that.
An
just
intervention.
just felt
yes.
fun. Here we go. Felt like a fun thing to say, didn't it? She's gonna scream me again, isn't she?
She's right now going.
Hello.
Hey, really quickly, this is so dumb, but Marmite is made in the UK, right?
Yes.
Did you know that they have a New Zealand version of it?
Yes, there's a version of it called Marmite.
It's not the same,
Is it
though,
the
right?
same?
Like
So
it's
when it's sold here, they call it My Mate.
My Mate. Okay, so that's a New Zealand version, but Marmite is the UK version.
No. My Mate in Australia is the English Marmite.
Oh.
And Marmite in Australia is not proper English Marmite.
That's New Zealand Marmite.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that settles the debate titling. All right. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Mom's at trivia at the moment, presumably, and is like, what the fuck is he asking me about?
Well, first of all, an appropriate place to be with our question.
Yes.
And second of all, thank you so much for that intervention, because it does seem as though technically you're wrong.
What?
So
No, hang on.
she
Wait a second.
said very specifically that Marmite in Australia is from New Zealand, but the UK version is called Our Mate.
I
And then we
meant-
have Vegemite. So when you said Marmite and I said from New Zealand, I was correct. You were wrong. And our intervention absolutely proved it. Thank you so much, Anne.
I'm just gonna have to take the L because, like, frankly, you're not. I mean, you're wrong, but I can't. I'm kind of penned in here.
Yeah.
You've kind of outmaneuvered. You've out chessed me, I guess is what one might say.
I've suplexed you.
Yeah, you done did a big wrestle on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, my entire point of this is that I went into the grocery store today to pick up some foodstuffs, and I was in the frozen pizza aisle looking for a frozen pizza because I always like to keep one or two in the freezer just in case, you know. Yeah, I get it. It's a boring story. I'm getting to the point. All right. And they
I was having a sip of my drink, so I just think,
were you?
yeah,
Like
the lady doth protest too much, I feel, on this one.
Look,
Wow.
all I'm saying is
Just
I'm
airing your
watching the
insecurities there, mate.
Well, you do this to me so often, I wasn't sure. You do this to me once a week when I'm talking about something interesting on purpose. Constantly you do this to me. Like, to the point where I'm never sure if what I'm saying is engaging or not because you're always doing a bit. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. But they were selling, it was like a McCain's mini pizza, and it was Vegemite and cheese pizzas. That was the entire product. And so someone at McCain was like, you know what our pizzas need? Yeast-based spread as a base. Like, the Italians are like, oh, we have a Bianca base and we have a Nepalese base. And then these motherfuckers are like, nah, cunt, put some Vegemite on it. Put some runoffs from the beer factory on it, cuz. Like, what? And I did buy them so that we can try them on Saturday, and we'll probably make that into some social media content. So follow us on the socials to see us try the McCain Vegemite Czar. But I just like I can't imagine the QA and the dev and the research process. Like, I just can't imagine the product development cycle for that, of someone going, what's the market we're missing in the frozen pizza market?
Yeah. What
Vegemite Czars.
We've perfected toast with Vegemite.
Yep.
We've perfected pizza with just all of the regular stuff that pizza's got. What if we
what kind of satanic union can we organize betwixt?
Unless, of course, you know, it starts with the development meeting on that one was, how can we ruin pizza?
Oh. Here's a question though, because this has come up before. Would you put Vegemite in like a grilled cheese sandwich or something?
Yeah.
Would you do, because like that's a normal thing to do, I feel. So
how far away from pizza are you?
I don't know. Well, I can work backwards, because if you can have a grilled cheese and have Vegemite in it, you can do a have you ever done for breakfast like a toast under the grill, like you grill the cheese on top?
Right.
Like you would with like a crumpet or an English muffin. Well, you could do that with Vegemite as the base. And that's basically a pizza.
That's basically a pizza.
So, I don't know. It feels to me like they're pretty close in reality. And it feels like these guys took it and they codified it and said, develop a national-wide marketing campaign for us selling pizzas with Vegemite on top. And nobody in the business said, guys, I think that could be gross and bad for digestion. No one said that.
No, because they couldn't.
At any stage,
they couldn't hear over the guy that was screaming how much money they were going to make, and there was the one guy just really quietly in the back, like, guys, I don't really think that this is going to be, you know, and he's just being drowned out by cheers and chants. People excited for the Cheesy Mite pizza.
To be fair, they got my money, so
they did. And maybe that's all that they're going for, you know.
Maybe
a little goof purchase.
Maybe we all learned something, didn't we? You know, maybe Vegemite pizzas are a scam, and maybe so are chicken twisties. You know, maybe we all need to really just look inside ourselves and think about what's going on.
I think the real story here was sort of like the real juicy G that we've uncovered is that David thinks that fucking Marmite's better than Vegemite.
I will defend that to the grave.
And that's sacrilege. That's sacrilege.
Better. It's stronger. You need less of it. It's a bit saltier. It's so good.
Sorry, I blacked out there in a white hot rage.
I can't tell if you look angry or surprised because of the face.
Look, you know, as much as it is deeply upsetting that is your stance on it, given the other horrendous stances that you have on fairly likable things, and accepted things, it's almost not surprising by how surprising it is. You know what I mean? Like your notorious hatred for Subway, and now,
oh, bro. You can't.
You know, your love of Stephen King, who can't write books. You know,
it's like, so here's
guy couldn't find a fucking ending if it was delivered to him on a silver platter. He goes, oh, what's that? Good ending on that one. let me just piss that the fuck off. How about if it's a spider, but how about if it's an alien?
To be fair, there's a lot in that book that's bad. The ending is the least. Well, the ending is the worst of it, but like, anyway, all I was gonna say is that like Pat pointed this out the other day, which is my specialty is having unnecessarily obtuse bad opinions about stuff that for some reason are well too thought out. And I never thought about it before, but that is my personality.
This is how upset you've made me. Look at my face. Look at how upset I am about this.
Yeah, are you upset or in concentrating? It's hard to tell.
How's that one?
Oh, that's a mean mug. Oh,
pretty
you really got to
miffed
turn
about
up. Oh, there you go. That's the look. Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
He's well mad, folks. Yeah. Anyway, so that was quick Vegemite corner. I didn't realize that. And if you take that and you clip that and put it on TikTok and you get me canceled, please don't. I was trying to think of a colorful threat, but I kind of ran out of steam.
Oh, that's so fucking. That's so 2021 energy on that one. 2023 energy is I print you onto a t-shirt that says Marmite wanker, and then I just wear that around.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the kids doing that?
This kid is.
King shit. Okay. Another. Hey, James. Actually, I've changed my mind mid sentence.
What's that?
We need to talk about your experience the other night, and then also sizzle for the post show. Both will become evident, and then we'll do the feature question, and that'll be our delightful episode of this fun episode of the advisory. And maybe we'll sneak in the squirrel breakup, the ferret breakup, but like we'll see how we go. You can I just read you? I don't know if you had a lead into this. But can I just read you the text you sent me? Is that a good place to start?
Sure.
Or do you want to paint the picture? Well, no, actually, tell us where you were the other night, because you've been on this gig spree, haven't you?
March, 'tis the season for live music, apparently. Every fucking band and their dog come into town in March, so...
All the boys.
Yeah, we've just been seeing like a bunch of bands lately. We saw Bad Omens the other night, and then on our way home, we, just wanted to get maccas for dinner, because it's pretty much the only thing open at that time. And pulled into just the regular maccas down the road.
Yeah, I just want to set the context for how this came across. So the opening text is, we went to a Macca's drive-thru for dinner on our way home. And I was like, okay, sure. So what happened?
Well, we pulled up to the voice box, and there was like a little bit of a wait. And then there was just I guess like it just sounded like an old voice that just said, oh fuck, I forget exactly what they said, but it was I'm gonna need you to come inside.
James, I'm gonna need you to come inside.
And we both looked at each other and said, that's not the voice of someone who works at a McDonald's. At this McDonald's that we've been to that only has teenagers working at it, and this sounded like a fucking
come inside, James.
Yeah, it sounded like a ghost old man voice, and Sam just goes, "Oh, okay, sure," and then winds up our window, and then we both look at each other and go, "We're not going inside." And then we just blast through the drive-thru, and as we're driving through, you go past like all the windows and stuff. We're looking in. We can't see anybody.
It's so good. It's so good. James, I'm gonna need you to come inside, buddy. And it's just fucking empty. It's empty.
Completely empty.
Yeah.
Didn't see any staff members as we drove past. Nothing.
No, so what I've done as a result of that story is I spent approximately 2 hours today writing a short story based on this concept, which I will read during our post show. It's very listen. It was a real on the fly job, but I think it's come together nicely because I just
Is
the
this
idea
is
is
this our back and forth of like the horror? The
yeah.
horror
Like
thing?
as you were texting me, I was like, oh, that's the short story I'm writing, and then I
Yeah.
sat down today and I just took all those notes and made a story.
Perfect.
So that's what we're doing. It's supposed to, bruh. Like my response was, "That's a murder place." Ronnie D in there with the big knife. Like you open
Oh,
the door and
1000%.
Ronald McDonald descends on you with the big stabber.
Well, when we because we were like absolutely not to that, so we left there and then went to another Macca's, and then on our way back home, we had to drive past that one,
Oh, you did?
and we saw 2 more cars come out of the drive-through and also not
Just
stop
tear off.
to go inside. They also just fucking drove off as well. No one was
Right.
hearing that voice and being like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go inside."
No. That's not a voice where you're like, yeah, you go, absolutely, we're fucking leaving.
We talked about it the whole time. We were like, why wouldn't you say it in a more inviting way? Like, oh, hey, sorry, we can't, the drive-through stuff is down or whatever. I'm going to need you to come inside or whatever. It was just this.
But like, it's not because they're talking to you. The mechanism they need works. Like anything you could do in store.
That's also what we didn't understand. It's like,
you know
what do you mean you need us to come inside? We're having the conversation with you right now. Just do it. Just do it now. Yeah. The only reason that you want me to come inside is so you can kill me.
Fucking murder me. You're trying to wear my fucking guts as garters.
And I'm not falling for that again.
And I shan't happen. Not 2 times in a week. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. So didn't end up going in on that one, obviously.
No, weird. Yeah, fun stuff. But stick around for the post show. I basically turned it into a Stephen King short story, is what I did. Which I know you'll love. So
well, when we were going back and forth, I was picturing very much like an "Are You Afraid of the Dark" type situation.
It has that vibe.
Yeah.
Which is a little derogatory for my Stephen King shit. That's what it. Yeah, it's very similar. Like it's one of those things of like, is there a ethical, moral lesson to this, or is it just weird?
Yeah,
it's got that energy.
Yeah, or will I be trapped in a board game?
Yeah, and it's set in the 90s, which is very Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have iPhones, stories are a lot easier to write. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Good stuff. Anyway, stick around. You can find that, or if you're like, man, I missed it. If the VOD's still up, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society, you can come check it out. Eventually, we'll find a way to make that available through some kind of like paid gateway. It's early sticks. We'll work it out. But if you want to see it and hear it, just fucking DM us. We'll work it out. Feature question?
Let's do it.
Let's do it to him. I've called this one Biting Back, a Lunchroom Revolt, which took me an embarrassingly long time to put together as a title. I don't know why, but I'm just like not built for clever titles. Just not in me.
You are to titles what Steven is to endings.
Mediocre at best, embarrassing at worst.
I was just going to say
bad.
You find it difficult to put them together.
Yeah, challenge.
I was just sort of gonna.
I ruined your.
Mine was mine was sort of just
serious joke. You
right. I was being much more soft on it. I was just like, it finds it a bit challenging to put them together, and whereas you were trying to eviscerate yourself for some reason.
Well, it's weird that you lent out of it this time, because normally you just don't hesitate and you just fucking got me in front of the audience. That's odd that happened.
I don't think that is actually true or happens. I think that you project that, and evidence for that being obviously this interaction. But this is a safe space.
Feels like cheating.
Where you're accepted, and so you don't need to beat yourself up. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, because you do it for me, right?
There it is.
Yeah. So, James, I've recently started my first job. I'm 32, so a bit late to this, at a high school. I work as a catering assistant for the high school.
First?
I know. I didn't want to... Listen, there could be any range of reasons for this. I didn't want to dunk on him. There's so many... health reasons, mental health, people can't work for various reasons. But you know what? They're in the workforce, proud of them.
I
But this
wonder
is
if
the
they're.
issue is
My thought was maybe they
unhireable.
have. What's that?
What? So you go.
You said unhireable?
Yeah,
No,
like,
dude. I was
what were you gonna say?
again. You say that I'm the one that's like hard on people. You're like gutting yourself. You're gutting this person. My thought was just, oh, I bet they've had other jobs. They just don't count them.
Oh, it's like not a real job kind of thing.
Yeah, that it's like someone who is an actor, but they are an actor, and they go like, oh, my side quest or whatever is being a barista, but I don't count that. So when they get their like first play or whatever, or they get cast in their first role, they're like,
sure.
this is my first job.
Got it. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I mean, that would be true, except they're working as a catering assistant, but maybe that's like working in a kitchen. That could be their dream.
Yeah, their dream was to be a
could-
chef or something,
Yeah. Which I can obviously empathize with. I don't bring this up a lot, but I was the head chef at Sizzler for 4 years.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
A lot of people don't know that about me because I rarely bring it up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Never really comes up. James, we serve kids food, clean, do dishes, set up, and everything. It is busy work. I suffer from anxiety, and I'm getting better with every shift. I'm a good, hard worker and receive compliments from my coworkers because they know I am new to all of this. The first thing
Nice.
one of my bosses, first of all, big props. We love to see that. We love people getting out there, getting it done. It's a hard job to do, and you're fucking crushing it. Big, you know what? Trying is 95% of it, and you're fucking doing it. Big ups. The thing is, James, one of my bosses keeps seeming to pick on me. She's always in a bad mood, always criticizing things I might be doing wrong. I got in trouble because she said steak was facing the wrong way in the tray, and I didn't put it there. It was the chef. The way she speaks to me makes my hairs immediately stand on edge when she wanders into the room. She'll do this at random times, and I feel like she is coming for me every time. I am a quiet but polite person. I do not like conflict, but she makes me really on edge, and I get nervous if she's there. If she does this again, is it okay for me to say to my boss that I do not appreciate being spoken to that way? Or how can I stand up to her, or is it not recommended? I am from Australia, shout outs, and I'm what we call a casual worker. I heard basically they can fire you without a concrete reason. True. Well, it's not firing. They can just not give you work. So I'm worried that I will get fired if I stand up for myself. This boss is always stomping her little feet around and criticizing us and say we stand around doing nothing, which is absolute BS. We are short on workers and do extra workloads every single day and don't stop. Can someone please give me advice? What we have here, James, is a classic little boss of a commercial kitchen who thinks they're fucking God. This is every boss I worked for when I worked at Sizzler. They're these like little men, these little people, these little women, these little, however they identify, and they just think that they are like God's gift to Earth, and they walk around like they fucking, like they shit gold. All of them do this. And I want to know how to help this person, because to be honest, I didn't work it out outside of just directly calling their bluff, and that did not lead to some long-term healthy relationships. So I wanted to see if we can find a funny and interesting way to help them, but also I'm looking for advice because I wish I did it differently. So.
I mean, the real advice is to probably have an earnest and sincere conversation with them about it. Because I'm assuming that those people in their role are also going through their own hardships or whatever, and all of the things that they have to deal with, and maybe you can have a conversation about how you can help them with their stuff or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's almost never about you, right? Like, it's always, when people are like this, it's never about you. It's about, they're having a bad time at home, or they're having a bad fun. Like, it's, have that conversation and see how you can.
Or they feel underappreciated in their role in their own right,
Yeah. Which I do in this job, and in this business, because they, as you all know, have cut me out of my ownership, and retain me in contract that I can't break without incurring a pretty hefty financial deficit that would bankrupt me and make me lose my mortgage. And I have no control over the programming that we do at Black Swan Society, and honestly, very little autonomy. And the lawyers are looking at me now, and I can say it. It's publicly fucking available. We're a publicly listed business. and they give me the look, and so I can kind of empathize with the scenario a little bit.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
The weird thing is that they're giving each other the weird look because the opposite of all of that is true. You know, you're quite the slave driver, so
It's not true.
who is very much sort of steering the
Inaccurate.
ship on
Kind of.
any and all things. So
Kind of.
that's why you can see that they're now sort of like giggling amongst themselves and sort of throwing their hands up like, what is he saying? That kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I have a chat with them like they're a person and like you're a person, you know, that might help.
Me?
And if it doesn't, no, not
you meant
you.
that.
No, there's no helping you. There's no helping you.
Yeah.
And if that
Just say,
doesn't
hey,
work,
just say,
then you
yeah.
might have to go somewhere else because sometimes people suck.
Now, my first instinct was the issue here is them entering the environment and being in a bad mood. Could we arrange sort of a, you know, the kitchen door opens and you have the bucket of water scenario that drops on them?
Yeah.
You know how you open the door and it goes psh, and they get splashed?
Yes.
No, that was the end of the thought.
Right.
Could we do
How
that?
would that? I mean, we could do that.
Yeah.
We could definitely do that.
Mhm.
I'm sort of struggling to see how that maybe helps.
Well,
The
we're sort of in the
situation. I'm having a
we're
hard
in the
time sort of
brainstorming.
connecting the threads on that one.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming. I was just sort of
Except for
throwing
that
out
one,
some
we found
ideas
it.
of like, okay, well, I didn't realize you were going to be so negative about it. I thought it was, could be good. Maybe it's hot out and she'll thank you for cooling her off. And then you become fast friends. She stops picking on you. Is that something?
Did you try this one at Sizzler?
Why would you ask? Why do you want to know?
And to just sort of get the timeline of when the managers perhaps started treating you badly, was it immediately following this?
Well, it was 2 to 3 weeks after that.
Yeah,
I assume that was the period where they sort of discussed it with HR.
Yeah, starting to make sense now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, when you put it all together like that, it's a pretty unflattering reality.
Yeah. So you essentially want to carry them every day when they walk in through the door. You sort of want to dump a bucket of stuff on them.
Yeah, I
hit them
prefer
with the
them to
old
be as
carry.
uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Walking into the bit, well, just to sort of diffuse their attention. They're worried about, oh, my clothes are wet now. They can't bully you if their clothes are wet. So,
right. And so, how would that work? Do you sort of go up to them and say, feeling a bit silly, aren't you? Now that all your clothes are wet. Yeah, you probably can't be very mean to me today, can you? Because of how silly you feel.
Because you're a bit damp, aren't you?
Yeah, give it about 2 hours. When you dry up, you'll turn into a real big piece of shit, probably. But right now, you don't really hold a lot of power over me because you probably feel real silly because of how damp you are.
Because of how damp you are. Now, when you say it out loud like that, it does sound a little ridiculous. But what if you got a spray bottle of water? You know how cats misbehave? If you want to teach them not to do something, you spray them?
Yes.
Could you do that with your boss? And so anytime she does a mean thing, you give her a quick squirt.
Right.
Is that something?
That is again, definitely very good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It'll call her up too. It's got the same benefit.
Because she didn't really ask this in the question, but is she wants to keep the job or she wants to get fired?
She wants to. So she's worried about getting fired because she's a casual
worried
worker.
about getting fired. Okay, so let's probably not do the water bottle thing then.
If they fire you because you squirt them in the face with a water bottle, you definitely can go to Fair Work and say, "Hey, I was doing a bit of a funny, and they fired me."
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ever heard of a little thing called managing up meets Pavlovian conditioning?
Guys, first of all, have you heard of Pavlov? Second of all, have you heard of managing up? Third of all, have you heard that David worked at Sizzler as the head chef for 4 years? Because they're 3 very important facts to this case.
What if there is a way to use Pavlovian conditioning here?
Go on.
But
go on.
In a way that is less kind of like
Likely to get you fired?
yeah, sort of like a less
Yeah.
fireable offense.
Uh-huh.
Could I make it so that anytime they do or say something to me that you know is a bit mean or oversteps the mark or that I don't like, I just in a really annoying voice go, "Oh, I don't like that," like that to them.
Oh, that was mean.
Well, less like that because that's sort of like that makes.
Sorry, what was yours again?
Well, mine was just sort of I was going for like just something really irritating, but less like punchable like what you were doing. So I was sort of it's just sort of like, you know, very sort of like maybe like
Yeah, go on.
infantilize yourself like a little bit and just, you know, be like a toddler having a bit of a tantrum. Just be like,
Oh,
I don't like that. Like that.
no, I didn't like it. No. That's something?
Again, so I'm
I'm
trying
not
to
good at this.
I'm trying to make it so that when they do something mean to me, I do something that's annoying. And so to
Oh.
avoid them experiencing the annoying thing, they stop doing the mean stuff to me. Whereas you're doing it in a way that makes them probably hate more.
I'm
And it's
not
a
making them
fine
hate their own
line.
baby. Like, I'm not making them hate their own kid.
You're not trying to be their kid.
No, I just no, that's what I'm saying. I just think like because you know, if I'm imitating an infant and I'm doing it like that, I might cause them to hate their own child. It's my concern. Could actually let's do a quick role play.
That's your concern?
I don't want to fuck up the family dynamic.
Well, then at
Not
the
a
end of the
house
day,
wrecker.
if they could, I mean, like that's their problem.
Mm.
That might be their fault, you know.
You're saying that now, but you haven't had to deal with me doing a infant impression on a daily basis.
Oh,
I
well,
feel like at a certain point-
give me 15, give me 10 to 15 seconds of one.
Oh God. Okay, hang on. Let me get a timer up. Just give me a hot
Just
second.
sort of ballpark it in your mind.
But in my mind,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to do that. What am I, a fucking maestro? How many seconds? 10 to 15?
Just 10 to 15 seconds.
We're doing 13 to split the upright.
Okay.
It's me. I'm a little baby. Aware. I'm a little baby. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about tax reform or Margaret Thatcher. I'm a little baby. And that's the whole of the seconds. Because they don't know about,
my God.
They don't know about austerity and the tax reform under Margaret Thatcher. So,
Try that because I wanted him to stop that almost immediately. And if I'd have done something that made him act that way, I'd definitely stop doing it.
Yeah. It's foolproof. It's foolproof. The other option
that gave me like shivers. You know what I mean? Like someone walked over my grave.
Yeah, I didn't love doing it, if I'm being honest.
I fucking hated listening to it, if that's anything.
Yeah. I have another option. What if whenever they come up to you, you start whispering Frank Sinatra lyrics to them? Whenever they say something mean, you just start whispering Frank Sinatra.
Oh, okay. So let's try that one then.
Let me demonstrate.
Yeah,
so you come up to me,
and I go, "Oh my, what the fuck, David? I told you that we face the steaks always face to the left. You want the forks on the right, and the bread rolls, they're not even buttered. Like, what the fuck is going on back here?"
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a permanent
David.
New York.
David, I need you to listen to me right now, mate. What's happening? Are you having a breakdown? I'm gonna need you to go home for the rest of the day, unpaid.
I'm paid. It's my company.
But really quickly before you leave, make sure all of those steaks face the left. Put the forks on the right, and butter the bread rolls. Okay.
These vagabonds, they're longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York.
Hi, yeah. Is this the police department? Yeah. No, one of my workers is having a bit of a breakdown right now. He's wielding, it is only a butter knife, but we are concerned. He's quietly singing Frank Sinatra songs to himself. Again, while wielding a knife. So if we could sort of just get someone down here to just sort of deal with this, that'd be great. Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, he is fired, but I don't want to tell him that just now in case he sort of like lashes out. Okay. I should get them to restrain him, you think? Yeah.
New York.
And that's your professional opinion that I should get the largest man that works in here to crash tackle him right now. Okay.
Find that I'm number one, top of the list.
Hi, yeah, Mark. I'm gonna need you to just sort of run back into the kitchen there and really just fucking pin that creepy cunt. Just crash tackle that piece of shit to the ground right now. If you could get the hands first, that'd be great, actually. Yeah, because he's again wielding a knife.
It's up to you, New York, New York. And scene.
Wow, when the police
fun.
When the police tased you for 6.5 straight minutes,
I did pee myself. Yeah.
We all noticed that. We all noticed that. Yeah.
Didn't feel good. Actually, did feel kind of good. I'm just not proud of it.
And
felt good though.
Again, just to sort of to step out of that nightmare for a second, because that was a lot to.
Over.
I can't imagine what that was like to watch or listen to. Because it was hard. It was hard to be in it. It was hard to be in it.
Yeah, you were on the phone with the police while that was all happening. So
yeah.
What's up?
I can't help but feel like we didn't solve that one. You know? Which I'm okay with, because you can't win them all.
Hey, sometimes in the game of advice, James, you win or you die. Okay? That's not copyrighted by George Martin. We can say that. In the game of advice, you win or you die. And I think in this case, we didn't die or win. So
yeah,
I don't
we
know
really
if
sort of gave some some opposing advice here. You know, some advice of ice and fire. It feels a little bit like
we didn't kill him. We didn't die, but we might have killed some listeners.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's I'm not sure what to make of that.
I don't feel
how to help here.
Yeah. And
myself or the question asker.
No, definitely. And I sort of you know, sometimes when you're doing this stuff and you embark on this journey of helping others and you know, starting a dumb little advice show,
doing big wrestling moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to I'm just gonna look up some wrestling move names.
You gotta find some terminology that you might be able to leverage. What a champion's elbow could be one.
Is that one?
I think so.
Okay, list of.
I don't know.
You know, sometimes you atomic drop yourself right into a question that, and it's a real brain buster, which is another one of my favorite moves.
Is it? That's fun.
And you really don't know how you're gonna backbreaker your way out of it. So
oh yeah, I'm always saying that.
It's hard when you get down in the thick of it and you're really trying to help and you're trying to like pull up to get out, and then you end up just at the end of the day tilt-a-whirl arm dragging yourself right into a wheelbarrow. It's, you know, you don't feel good about it. You go home and you have to sort of sit in the quiet of your home with yourself and have that sort of honest discussion with yourself. You know, did I bring it today? Did I bring my A
Right.
game?
Right.
And really you just pray to God that you didn't mountain bomb your own career.
I do often worry about that. Yeah.
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 Sometimes you try to cobra clutch it, but it just doesn't pan out sometimes. You know, as I always say. So
Sometimes you bounce off the ropes, and sometimes the ropes bounce you off. You know.
that's so true. That's so true. And I
Yeah.
just because I remember
Yeah.
being in the thick of that question, I was like, maybe I can slingshot bulldog my way out of this.
You would think you thought you could pull that off?
I
You haven't done
honestly,
one of those in years.
I
Since you were
honestly
like
thought to
25.
myself that I could slingshot bulldog my way out of that one.
That's really the hubris of a younger man, James.
And
I appreciate the ambition. So
you know, really just feel like I strapped myself into the old electric chair driver and iron claw slammed
you're making
myself.
these up now.
So I'm absolutely not. This is a Wikipedia. Wikipedia.org/wiki/professional wrestling throws. So
Okay.
yeah.
All of those sound fictitious.
So you know, apologies for that one. Feel like we didn't do our best. I feel really,
No.
if I'm honest, I feel like we double knee face breaked it. Really dropped the ball on.
Is that good or that's bad? Okay.
The
It's hard to tell.
double knee face breaker. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it involves involves an attacking wrestler who is standing face to face with an opponent, hooking both hands around the opponent's head, and then leaping to bring both knees up to the face of the opponent, sort of like a jumping double knee into the
big knee.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did sort of that one to the question, but
That would probably hurt, I would have thought.
well, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Everyone knows that. So
It's true. James, we have run out the clock, I think, is what's just sort of is that a wrestling term?
You know,
Did I say that?
It honestly, this one, it feels like we did run out the clock on it. You know what I mean? It wasn't sort of the triumphant victory.
No.
It really does just feel like the buzzer went off and we all looked around at each other and went, oh, guess we should go home then.
You know, sometimes in like a football match or something, you might go see like a soccer match or something, and they score a goal in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then no one else scores a goal for the entire match and it ends and everyone's like, even the guys that won are a little bit ashamed of themselves. They're like, yeah.
I can't help but feel like this was a 0-0 draw. And with everyone sort of going home, you know, came close a few times, yeah, in the first half.
But then second half,
those last 40 minutes, man, those last 45 minutes,
pretty grim.
Ooh, that was tough. It was a tough watch.
But excitingly, in the overtime, in this 0-0 draw analogy, we have a short story that I'm going to read. It's going to be fun. It's going to be horror. It's going to be a bit goofy. It's going to be a bit campy. So, you know, maybe in overtime, the game will get good. You know? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it can only go up from here, I feel like.
It can't get any worse, baby. You got to hear me do a baby voice this episode. So this can only be better.
Oh, I forgot.
And I'm actually good at this. I'm actually good at writing stories. So this can't be any worse than what just happened. I did write it in 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to, because I came into this one thinking like we're swinging for the fences. It's going to be a great one, and then you know you just sort of leaving. Yeah, so it's hard to. Yeah. I guess maybe the takeaway from this episode is dream small.
Avoid video easy.
Dream small and
don't get cursed by wrestlers.
No, see, because sometimes even when you dream small, you can end up falling short. So dream big. Dream big, I reckon. I'm going to circle back on that one. Yeah, I'm going to go with dream big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dream big and
shoot for the stars, because you might end up landing on the moon.
You won't be able to breathe and you'll suffocate, but it'll be sick. You'll know that you did it. It'll be sick. And that's the advisory, baby. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on youtube.com/@BlackSwanSociety to watch the VODs of our podcast and everything else we do. You can catch the exciting and flavorful, little bit wonderful everywhere on your podcast catches of choice and those episodes on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on TikTok or Instagram at BLK Swan Society. That is at BLK Swan Society. And if you want to watch us live every Thursday, 6 p.m. AEST, you can follow us on twitch.tv/Black Swan Society. That is the best place to find the new content we make, to find the exclusive extra long post shows that we do, like the one we're about to do here. It's the best place to find all the new shows we do as well. We have a brand new show coming up in about a week and a half's time. It's very exciting. We're very excited about it. You can watch that live, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society, or catch the VODs on YouTube. We appreciate the heck out of you supporting us on social media. It really does help us out. If you want to send us an email, if you have a burning piece of advice in your brain pan, you're lying there in bed at night, you're rolling side to side, you lean over and your husband says, "Hey, why can't you sleep?" And you whisper back, "I need to email this boys a question about my workplace."
Or,
you could email
DM
us.
them. Or I could also
DM
send
them.
it on a DM.
There's
but in this
so many
particular
ways
instance,
but
we
also,
are about to specifically read the email address.
In this specific scenario, you're a boomer and you prefer email over social media. You can email us blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. Send us your feedback only if it's positive, or if you want to ask us some advice that we want to cover on the show, or just ask us stuff in general, blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. And wherever you consume us, whether it's on a podcast catcher, whether it's on YouTube, however you find the show, please consider giving us a rating or a review on your catcher of choice. It really does help us. And if you leave us a very good 5-star review, 5 stars no less, I might read it out, and that's fun. You'll hear me do a goof on your thing, and apparently I will do it in any voice you request. So you can leave a 5-star review and
Just
say,
to trial that right now, I'm gonna hey Sam, could you give me a just a really quick review of the advisory? Just like, can be really brief. It's a giggle riot. It's a giggle riot. Loved it so much. Love you, boys. I added that last little bit. And if you could have any character that you could have say those words that you just said, who would it be? It can be an actor. It can be a character. Mickey Mouse.
fuck. It's a giggle riot. Loved it. Love those boys. Is that the...
Yeah, it's a giggle riot. Love that show. Love those boys.
Oh, love that show. Love those boys.
And she would like it in the styling of Michael Mouse.
Give me a second. Ho ho! It's a riot. Love that show. Love those boys. Ho ho!
Thank you so much for coming this week.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for lasting this long. You look good, James. Better lock the balcony.
All right, you heard him say that. You heard him say that time. You can't see him because the webcam is hidden, but it was David saying that. It wasn't Michael Mouse.
What's gonna happen when the lights go out? Better hope nothing bad happens. Better hope nobody finds the wind. Better hope you stay safe. Better hope you wake up tomorrow.
I'll see you all next week.